We'll see. We'll find out how familiar he is with this game mode with StarCraft Evolution. This morning, in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg. It is Rumeith from South Korea. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the StarCraft 2 Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. As we are going to be settling in again to a StarCraft 2 map, so a map that Cure is a little more familiar with, and of course Cure is able to embrace his StarCraft 2 as well. Coming into this Cure, I would lean towards as being the favorite player. We'll see if Rumeith can pop off. Let's see if he can pop off. We'll see if he can overwhelm Cure. But now, going hatch first. Do have our hatch first opener. Likewise, Cure setting up economically as well, as we do settle in. Now again, if you're out there, if you happen to have watched the Round of 28, I would appreciate to know how Cure played out his matches and how he played out his series, and even how he played out his Brood War. Again, unfortunately, we weren't able to cover the Round of 28, so it would be nice to know for those of you that were able to tune into that. As I don't really know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. My first time casting Cure in StarCraft Evolution. But now, Rax Expand. Standard economic opener here out of Cure. Everything looking normal so far. I guess, for example, out of Gumiho, we saw a lot of mech. We saw a lot of mech out of Gumiho, for example, which is to be expected. Is Gumiho. Cure has been dabbling in mech in StarCraft 2. For those of you that do watch us on a regular basis, you will know that Cure, he has been dabbling in mech against Zerg, and even against Protoss as well, going Cyclone. So that is not off the table here from Cure. Does SCV scouts, it does confirm the third base. Again, all the hatcheries are being thrown down. Rumeith just settling in. There's no like extra gases or excess gas here working towards a faster lair. I say that Rumeith does now have the gas for link speed. And he has not started researching it. For now, he's a little bit preoccupied here by the Reaper. Reaper does dance with the Lings. We are banking up resources, and again, are we going to get into link speed? Are we going for the lair? What is the plan here? Where are we spending our gas? Yeah, Rumeith, again, he's overly focused on this defense. And it's still just droning. And the Reaper's trading quite nicely, actually. It's this is getting a little bit out of hand. Looks like at this point we should be skipping link speed. We have 200 gas, so we should be working towards a lair. Yep, there we go. Hydrogen. We're skipping link speed. This is quite greedy here from Rumeith, and we'll see if Cure can punish. Now, this is almost like a gasless opener out of Rumeith, just because he's skipping link speed and he's rushing into Hydras. There is going to be a window here available where Hellions could try to break through and try to rush past the creep colony and get into a mineral line. As Cure, speaking of mech, there it is, second factory. Again, it's good that we brought up that Cure, he has been playing mech against Zerg and mech against Protoss in recent times in StarCraft 2. Here, he's meching it up as well. So he does shell away here at the third. We have 3 factories being set up. This should be battle mech out of Cure. Now, side defense is stronger here for StarCraft, for the Brood War side of things. So the colony can do a better job here just zoning away. Hellions, they rotate. They rotate over, they're looking for a way in. And there's Macfield Accelerators. Nice scout out of Rumeith. He does scout, he does confirm the mech that's coming his way. Does see the research, he knows. Rumeith does know. Now, how does Brood War Zerg deal with mech here is going to become the next big question. Hellions, yeah, they just run past. They just rush past. Thankfully, there are Hydras in position. 1 Hellion goes down. 3 of them still get in. They can still one-shot. And 3 drones going down. But only 4 workers. Nothing major yet. Up! The Let's go back around. Boys are pulled away, and Rumeith defense. Honestly, a nice defense here. A nice defense overall. This could have been a lot worse. It's almost a 1-to-1 trade. 4 Hellions for 4 drones. Better trade for Rumeith. Behind this, massing up more Cyclones, massing up more Blue Flame Hellions. Now, Ling Hydra, I feel like can work against BattleMech, but it doesn't sound amazing. Unfortunately, like, Hydras are quite fragile, Lings are quite fragile as well. I feel like BattleMech can have its way with Ling Hydra. Up until we work towards Lurkers and up until we work towards Spellcasters, that's when things can maybe swing in favor of Rumeith, referring to Queens, referring to Ensnare. But pre-Ensnare, I have to give it to the Terran. So far with Divine Mining. Again, just distracting Rumeith, allowing Cure to expand. Gets his third up and running. Gaining map control. And moving out. It's a much later lair here out of Rumeith. That's a 6-minute lair timing. That is insane. I was bringing up something like Ensnare, something like Queens. We are a ways away tech-wise from any of that. Yeah, Cyclones, there we go. So far, oh my god. There we go, have 4, 5. 5 Hydras go down. Game to 6, game to 7. 8, 9 Hydra. This might just be too much. I'll be honest, without static defense, without those sunken colonies, this army cannot hold its own. There are only 4 Hydras left. The Cyclones, baby, let's go. Yeah, the Hydras, they melt 1, a Cyclone goes down, he gets 1, he gets 2, but he will lose everything. Yeah, Rumeith, he will lose everything, he's going to be overwhelmed. Again, the colonies will help, but the Cyclones, they lock on, they bring down the first colony. How about some more Finn? Again, the colonies, they're buying time, they're tanking. Rumeith, he's holding on. He holds on. As Cure, he burned through his buffer. He had to burn through all of his Hellions. And he does need that support, otherwise he'll start losing Cyclones. So this is a delicate dance here, but a dance says Cure is winning. Oof, there we go, 2 Cyclones going down. As you mentioned, okay, you need those Hellions in front. Hydra count getting up to a comfortable count. Okay. Again, I'll be honest, if it wasn't for those 3 sunken colonies, Rumeith, the game might be already over. They did a great job just tanking, buying time. But it's too much anyway. Yeah, the Cyclones, the Locons are brutal. Every Hydra is going to go down. And Cure, he still does break through. We have 3 more colonies on the way. Once again, they will tank, they will buy some time. They allow more Hydras to bank up. Oh god. The first couple of Queens are on the way. Let's go. They're coming. But the efficiency has been insane. Cure is getting his 4th base on location. And Snare is still on the way. Oh, a bit of miscontrol there, a bit of mismovement out of Cure, losing 2 Cyclones. 2 Cyclones go down. And Rumeith, unfortunately, out of position. But again, the colonies, they buy some time. They allow some of the Hydras to respond. He's able to respond. And Snare is complete. Let's go. He's got Ensnare. Queens, they're coming in for the flank, and the Ensnare will connect. The Cyclones are going to be locked down. And the Hydras, they will close that distance. Remember, Ensnare lasts a long time. And there we go, 3, 4, 5 Cyclones going down. Very nice trade. No, at the same time, Hellions, they get into the middle line. 15 drones going down. Let's say 15, 16, up to 18 drone kills. Rumeith, we gotta go. We gotta commit. We gotta commit across the map. We spoke about it once and Snare hits the field, then bam, we have a big power spike for Rumeith. All the queens go down. And Rumeith, it's all or nothing. He has to end the game here and now. I say he has to deal crippling damage, and so far he is. Gets into the mineral line. 10 SCV kills. 10 SCVs. He will kill the CC as well. Very nice. Yeah, he kills the CC, and Rumeith, he may have just done it here. Cure down to 3 bases. He's milling as much as he can. Cure's also banking, so having a hard time spending his resources. There we go. CC's on the way. Cure, he is holding on. Oh, God. We need more queens. Where are they? Okay, 1 queen just popped. We have 2 more on the way, 3 in total. We need those queens. And as you can see, individually in small numbers here, you can see the Hydras, they do nothing. The Hydras, they just melt, they just evaporate. But in high numbers, and again, Hydras are relatively cheap, like they can mass up, they can overwhelm, they can hold their own. He just needs time to mass up those Hydras. As making 11 Hydras at a time. Building up his Hydra count, so the queens have been scouted. And so far, Cure, he's still committed to just mass battle. Okay. So Rumeith, he lost the mineral line, but hey, he killed a base. He killed the CC, did enough damage. The queens are out. We got those in snares. Cure, he has to respect the queens. He's got to respect. Oh no! The snares are coming in. Oh, it doesn't quite land. Ooh, that's Hellbat's do Morphin as well. They're here to tank. They hit a buffer. The Cyclones, they kite back, and the Hydras are getting caught out here. Oh, we do get some nice snares. Hellbats are falling, and the Cyclones, they cannot kite. Yeah, they cannot kite away. They're committed. Oof. Still an extensive trade for Rumeith, but he does reset the Cyclone counts. And these are expensive losses here for Cure. Cyclones are meant to build up over time, but those snares have been brutal. Every time we land some in snares, the Cyclones, they die. Like, they do not escape. And snare's pretty good. Snare's pretty good. Now we're switching into tanks. When from here, Cure, he should be able to hold on. Yeah, there's not enough Hydras. Forcing friendly fire, though. Does force friendly fire. 19 SCV kills. As Cure, he has now finally switched into tank production. Basically, once the queens hit the field, that is where Cyclones, they lose a lot of their strength, they lose a lot of their power, and that's where we would have needed a faster switch into tanks. As these have been some expensive losses here for Cure, but now he's gotten there, now he's switched. Tanks getting caught out. Late siege. Does catch the reinforcing Hydras, but the main force does hit the natural. Getting on top of the tanks. Hellies, they hold their own. Hellies will clean up. And we have a back and forth. We have a back and forth here. As the tank count gets higher, that's where queens, they're going to need that spawn broodlings. That would be, I would imagine, the current best answer to that. Is to go link Hydra into more queens. And there we go, spawn broodlings now being researched. So still not available. Until then, like, tanks, they're going to be quite threatening. I think Hydra going for the counter-attack. We're going for a pseudo base trade. Cure, he will lose an expansion. Likewise, Rumeith, he'll lose one as well. But Rumeith is so much faster to get in. Takes down the middle line, takes down the CC. And Cure, we gotta commit. We gotta keep going. Spawn Broodling's almost done. It's almost ready. It's almost ready. They bust into the bases. We just ensnare the tanks. Sure, we can spawn Broodling, but we would have no energy. We have no energy anymore. But the Mass Hydra might just be enough anyway. Hydra's a spread. Across the map, Rumeith, he's racing back home. He does race back, and he will clean up this army. Takes down all the tanks. Did lose an expansion, but Rumeith, he still has 74 drones. He still has an economy. He can still mass up. He can still overwhelm. He can still just overwhelm Cure. Cure has to turtle. He might not want to, but he has to turtle up. Do we have any queens left? No. 0 queens. We have 4 queens on the way. Cure moving out with a Hellion Rumbi. Sunken colonies are ready. As Hydras, they try to bypass the main army, they will. Yeah, they bypass all the tanks, they get into the natural. Get into the bases. Curie just was out of position. Tanks are trying to race on over. That's going to be another 10 SCV kills. And the supplies are close currently, but Rumeith has an economy. He can rebuild, he can remax. Cure, I can't say the same. Which is why currently Cure, I feel like he has to just turtle up and preserve his bases. I don't know if a move out across the map will do it. It'll be close. I mean, Cure's army is pretty huge. How many tanks do we have? 9. We have 9 tanks. How many queens are there? 7 queens! And they need a little bit more time to gather energy. Unlike Vipers, they cannot just gather energy. They cannot suck on buildings. The queens, they need time. As they cannot spawn broodlings. Hopefully we don't come in and ensnare tanks. I mean, hopefully we're a little bit patient with those queens. Yeah, Rumeith is going for the base trade, going for the counterattack. Tanks are moving in. There are Vikings to turn away the queens. Means they're banking energy. And we are just going for the base trade. Sure, we gotta go further in. We gotta keep going. Very good. Rumeith does have bottom left as well. He's rebuilding his tech. Rebuilding his hydrogen. As production buildings are going down, tech is going down, but the queens are now ready. Some of them at least. Yeah, they move in. They get 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 tanks go down. 5 tanks go down. They land in a snare, and they reset the tank count. They reset the tanks. 1 tank left. And Rumeith, he has done it. At this point, he has done it. He has cleaned up the entire army. The spawn broodlings. Oof. Passes out all the Vikings. GG gets called, and Rumeith, he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. A very, very intense game 1. Again, we were giving a little praise to the sunken colonies, and honestly, like, if it wasn't for those colonies, if it wasn't for the site defense, Cure, he would have overwhelmed. He was out trading, but as we were mentioning, they were able to buy enough time for the Hydras to mass up, to bank up, to be able to hold his own, to be able to survive, and to counterattack as well. Not just that, but on top of that, this also shows a little bit of inexperience out of Cure. I'm specifically referring to the tech switch. I'm referring to the fact that he was on BattleMech for a while and it was worth it, but once the queens popped out, he stuck with BattleMech even longer, right? He stuck with BattleMech for like another 2 fights, if you recall, for another 2 engagements, before finally admitting they cannot rely on BattleMech anymore because of the ensnares, and then he finally switched into tanks. But the time it took for that to happen, it felt very long, and I'm sure it felt long because I don't know how often he's gone up against that kind of composition, gone up against queens. I don't know if he was respecting them quite enough there. But again, in my mind at least, that comes down to like some inexperience out of Cure, recognizing when to switch, when to tap out, or I guess when to switch out of BattleMech and when to kind of accept like a kind of game state sort of thing. But GG, well played. Whew. Oh, just catching up in the chat. Catching up. Become one with the motto. Oh no. Not like this. Kira Def looks a bit lost. At one point, if we got to research Siege. Oh, that is brutal. Just catching up with the chat. Sorry, just to catch up. Earlier, I was asking for any insight on Kira's play, just because we didn't get to see him in the round of 28. One game played brutal where he played against Milky Cow, who rushed him. Kira versus... okay. I see. Needs to infest the command center. True. I mean, here we go. We are now getting to the next game. But again, I mean, Kira, he had a lot of momentum for the majority of that game. He had a lot of momentum. He had a lot, at least for the first half, he had a lot of map control. As we mentioned, in the end, we saw that Rumeith, he was able to buy enough time, able to build up enough Hydra count where he could hold his own, eventually teched into the Queens, and eventually brought it all back. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg, the Brood War Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Rumeith. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Kyor. And no surprises here, Kira, he lost game 1, so he is going back and relying on StarCraft 2 once again for game number 2. And, is looking to open up 2x Reaper. Okay, now, again, I do actually like this, especially on Pylon. Pylon, welcome to Pylon. Pylon is a smaller map of the map pool, a shorter rush distance by ground, so we can try to make use of that to our advantage here. With this, we should be going for, a second Rax. We might even throw down a third Rax in the main to go into 3 Rax Reaper. Regardless, mass Reaper here out of Kyor, and we spoke about this in the past, but because there are no Queens for Brood War Zerg, it does mean that there is a bigger window in time where these Reapers can do damage. Of course, once we get into side defense, once we get into sunken colonies, we can hold our own. We'll see what Kyor can accomplish, as he is straight up going for 3x Reaper, and he's not even hiding it. This is very brazen. This is a very brazen build here from Kyor. There's no hidden building, no hidden structure. He's not trying to fake out anything. He just wants to commit to mass Reaper. Okay. So mass Reaper out of Kyor. We'll see if he can out-control and overwhelm Rumeith. Oh boy, it's not going to be an easy defense. It's not going to be easy. The Overlord will scout, the Overlord will confirm the Raxes. Only sees 2 of them. Doesn't go further out. Here we go. And we're rushing into a lair? Oh, we're going to be delaying link speed. Delay link speed, 2 base lair. We have the colony on the way, that is true, but this I'm not so sure about. Okay, we're getting a colony in the main as well. So 2 colonies, very greedy response by Rumeith. And we'll see if he can buy enough time, if he can minimize losses until the colonies get up and running. They're going to finish, Jesus. They finished so quickly. He should be fine. By the time 2 Reapers arrive, I wasn't sure about the timing here, but the first colony is done at the natural. The second colony is finishing up here to cover the Reaper cliff. Ooh, 1 drone goes down. Now, on the one hand, yes, these colonies will not be broken, but the Reapers, they can slip by. Yeah, there's an opening. He can just go straight in between the bases, down and then back in, and go straight for the mineral line. Oh, yeah, these colonies, they're not going to cover the mineral lines. And Kyor, he can just send it. Remember, link speed was delayed. But now he's just banking Reapers. Yep, now here he goes into the mineral. Oh no. And remember, there's no link speed. We're going 2-base Spire. 2-base Muta. The boys are being pulled. Can we surround? Oh, not quite. Yeah, we'll not surround. This is just so much greed out of Rumeith. So much greed. And Rumeith should lose everything. He should lose everything here. Not a single Reaper goes down, kills all the Zerglings, gets into the mineral line, denies mining, scouts the lair, scouts the Spire. Could he cancel? No shot. He's gonna cancel the Spire. Oh no. I mean, we attempt to surround once again. 1 Reaper goes down, link speed finishes. There we go. Now link speed is done. And Rumeith, he will hold, but at a cost. Now, thankfully, he saved the Spire at least. Did save it. But we can just turn this into a 3x mass Marine. Yeah, Marines are massing. Stim is on the way. This has been a shaky start for Rumeith. It's been very shaky. The colonies, they did nothing back. They did nothing. Oh. Again, Kira is looking very comfortable. He was able to deal economic damage early on. He was able to scout, so he knows what's coming his way. The mutas are not going to be a surprise. And fun fact, Rumeith, he isn't even making any mutas. As the Reapers are still active. They're still getting value. Yeah, they're still getting value here again, just making use of this Reaper Cliff. More drones going down. Oof. Confirms that the spy wasn't cancelled. There we go. We finally get us around. We lock down the Reapers. It's going to be 3 drones falling. We have Scourge. We got 10 Scourge on the way. Unfortunately, I mean, there are going to be medevacs eventually, so that will be an answer, going Ling Scourge, I suppose. Basically, Rumeith, he has no faith that mutas will do any damage because he got scouted, right? So he's not bothering to invest into muta. But he is behind economically. He needs a 3rd base. The best chance here for Rumeith is to catch out the medevacs and catch out drop play, but here he's just walking across the map. He's not dropping. Medevacs will arrive, but we'll see if the stars align. Like, there's a chance, like, if Cure picks up these Marines into the medevac to drop into the main base and runs into the Scourge and loses everything, like, I mean, Rumeith can bounce back. But, like, again, everything has to line up for that to happen. Yeah, Kiri, he's just pushing it. Again, he cannot lift, he cannot pick up. Nice kiting, medevacs go down, but the Marines, they just stand strong. Yeah, they just stand strong, they just stim and win. GG gets called, and Kiri ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to game 3 again. Just a really rough start for Rumeith. He was so greedy. He was so greedy in his response. Remember, he went lair first. He scouted the build. He still went lair first. He went for the double spine crawler, sorry, double sunken colony. But as we pointed out, there was an opening. There was an opening regardless of the colonies. There was a way straight into the natural and main base mineral line, almost as if the colonies weren't even there to begin with. And he delayed link speed, so there was just more time where the Reapers could just wreak havoc and get damage done. Really rough start there for Rumeith. He fell behind, he stayed behind. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into our next matchup. We're getting into the final game here of the series, the ace match. Let's go. Game 3 is going to be on Sylphid. Oh, here we go. Side defense is too static. True. Oh no. Oh, like this. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg being forced into the ace match and opting to play SC2 Zerg. It is Rumeith. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the Brood War Terran player. Rocking up with Brood War Terran for the first time in this group, we have the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. Go. As welcome 1-0 to Sylphid. Sylphid, of course, is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, left side, and right side, and we have a drone scout out of Rumeith. Drone scouts are very uncommon, but I feel like on maps like this, where there are multiple spawn locations, there's a little bit more rationale behind going for the drone scouts. As Rumeith, he will poke in, he will confirm that Cure is nowhere to be found. Confirm. and we'll see how Cure handles himself with a Brood War Terran. As we mentioned previously, at least in the round of 28, I believe Cure lost every game that he played Brood War Terran. I believe he lost every game, and he did rely heavily on his SE2 Terran to carry him through the group stage. What I will say is that's why Game 1 was so important. Game 1, what happened? Cure lost with SE2 Terran. He lost the game where he was playing StarCraft 2. That was a big blow for Cure, and that might have cost him the series. But we'll see. For now, we do see the drone scouts. That does confirm 2 Raxes. Do we go 3 Rax Stim? I'm leaning towards that. I want to say that Gumiho was also going for that opener every now and then, so it looks like it is a style that is known amongst the players, even Cure and Gumiho. Rumeith opening up gases. So that is a hatch before pool, before gas. So very greedy build here by Rumeith. Very greedy. So delayed gases, delayed link speed, delayed tech. Meanwhile, Academy is on the way. So we are rushing into Stim. Is Cure going to do this with 2 Raxes and not with a 3rd? We'll see. As I believe he should already have a 3rd Rax by now. Yeah, I think he's freestyling a little bit. Okay, so we got 2 Rax Stim on the way, we got a medic on the way, we got a firebat as well, so it feels like we're freestyling a little bit. This is a bit of a less refined variation of 3 Rax Stim. We're getting there in the end, but okay, getting 4 Raxes behind this. But it's again a little bit more, it feels like a little bit more off the cuff. Cure did SEV scouts, but it looks like he didn't check for the 3rd, he didn't check for gases, so he doesn't know how greedy his opponent's been. Because that there's no need to rush into an early firebat and early medic, because there's nothing to pressure him, right? There's no link speed. There's no link, oh right, no link speed. Roach Warren is going to be thrown down, so it's going to be a Roach defense. Rumeith is looking fine. I mean, off of a gases opener makes sense. Gases opener into Roaches. Just skipping link speed entirely. Rumeith, he has the tools to defend, I should say that. He has the tools. We're able to a 5 Rax setup here for Cure. 5 Rax Mass Marine. I say Mass Marine, 5 Rax Mass Bio, because we have a couple of Firebats in the mix. Medics, Marines. Because we're getting into this much production, this is going to hit later. We have a bit of supply block here as well. Oh, God. We have a supply block. We'll delay Cure even further. We can't call down supply, Bobby. Not here. But we'll see if Cure can kind of Frankenstein his way into a win. It's still possible. That's a lot of medics. Jesus. Now, this is so unfortunate. Now we have the scan. So, Cure, he's going mass firebat. Remember, he never scouted. He just scouted with the scan. He doesn't know that it was gasless. He doesn't know that it's not Ling defense. If he was up against mass Zergling and Ling Bane, then sure, this would work. But he's up against Roaches. Firebat is going to be less effective here. So, it's a little bit unfortunate as to how he's setting up, but we'll see. I'm sure Firebats can tank, I suppose. But again, the Roach Queen is in position. Cure, now he knows. Now he's aware. I mean, he saw the main base earlier. He saw the lair timing. He saw the lack of gas. So that was a tell. Now getting into U2-3 shells. +1. Cure rotates, but Rumeith, he should be fine. Like, this army shouldn't be able to get any economic damage. Now, my big concern here is... I was going to say my big concern would be the Roach counterattack, but Rumeith did cut workers early. It looks like he respected this quite a bit, so the drone count is actually quite low for Rumeith. Rumeith a little bit out of position. Where's Roach speed? The lair is done. Uh-oh. Roach speed is delayed. There we go, Roach speed is now starting. Army does step in. Do we have a transfuse? No transfuse. Okay, Queen unable to transfuse in time. A couple of boys are being pulled. And Rumeith, he will hold, but this was a bit of a messy defense here. That was 10 drones going down. He lost all the queens despite having some transfuse available. So the control not quite there. Cure, not a bad trade. And remember, the drone count was low to begin with. Oof. So Cure, he can pull this off. He can pull this off. As he did lose all of his fire bats, but now he's got his mass marine that he did hold on to. Factories are on the way. Siege mode being researched, of course. Third TC in production as well. Cure, he's getting into this. Getting into this quite nicely. Whereas it feels like Rumeith is struggling. Again, just the low economy here is really hurting him. He's getting spine crawlers as well. It does feel like Rumeith is being outscaled. Marines, they rush in. Rumeith pushing forward. He gets on top of the Marines. But with these reinforcements, Cure, does he have enough? Cure. It's close. Yeah, it's close. It looks like Cure, he will kill all these roaches. Down to 3 roaches. Down to 2. Down to 1. Down to 0. Every roach goes down. Tanks are moving in. And again, Rumeith, he can't afford these losses here. His drone count is just so low. Like, he's barely hanging on here with his reinforcements. Rumeith is still trading. It feels like quite poorly here. Irradiate's on the way. Curie's just rallying. He's just rallying across with a more efficient army. 2 more seconds. He's holding onto that Irradiate. Doesn't want to waste it. Once again, he resets the roach count. There are no Ravagers, there are no Vials. I mean, Rumeith can't afford it. Let's irradiate. This roach count might be enough to get on top of the tanks. Oh, good. They clump up so much. Yeah, the roaches clump up. The tank volleys are brutal. And I want to say that Cure has broken Rumeith. He's running into Marines, though. Okay. Running into Marines. Barely doesn't get on top of the tank. Barely not. As you see, Rumeith trying to catch reinforcements. Not bad. Comes from behind, gets a couple of Marines. Does force Cure to turn back around. This is going to give him some breathing room. These roaches, they get across the map. Cure again, he's racing back home. Finally alleviating some pressure. So yeah, the roaches are being cleaned up regardless. Being cleaned up. Curie's establishing himself, scanning, trying to figure out the economic game state. Rumeith still has some droning to do. He's still stuck on roaches. Not even Roach Ravager. And again, the reason for that is he can't afford it. You can see the bank here. Like, there is no gas bank. Rumeith, he's spending everything he can on roaches. Oh, we got the 1 Ravager. Let's go. Oh god, no, don't go into the tanks. Yeah, he's pushing into the tank line. That's going to be brutal. Irradiate on the roaches, and every roach is going to go down. Yeah, Cure, he will take it. He shuts down the main army, completely cleans it up, and now it is go time. Rumeith, he moved into 5 tanks. Oh god. And Cure, let's go. Looking to win with Brood War. with Brood War Terran. Again, he kind of Frankensteined his way into it. It does feel like Rumeith, in a way, maybe panicked a little bit. But his early game was really rough. It was just a really rough early game for Rumeith. He under-droned, then he lost a lot of workers, so he just fell behind economically. He never had an economic lead. Never had that stable setup. Roaches are being chased down. And this should be the final army here for Rumeith, as he shouldn't be able to afford much else. He's just trying to trickle out a couple of roaches. We have the infestation bit on the way. Working towards, I would imagine, a Hydra Lurker tech, but it's so far away. Just Vipers. And GG gets called, and Cure, he will play in the series. He will pop up, will take down Rumeith 2-1 and advance on to the winners match. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Cure. He will claim the series. If you recall, I was most curious about how Cure would perform with Brood War Terran, and it was interesting. It does feel like he kind of like freestyled it a little bit when it came to his build, when it came to the opener, but we saw despite the freestyling of Cure, Rumeith had a really shaky early game as well. Was very shaky, really low drone counts, early roach production. He pulled the boys early as well, so he lost 10 workers. He fell behind economically. He stayed behind economically. It did feel like after the first attack from Cure, Rumeith was on the back foot. Rumeith, he was on the back foot the entire game after that first Firebat attack. And GG, well played. With that, Cure does snowball out of control, does claim the win, and Cure does advance on to that winners match. And we have it ready for you here. We have the winners match. It's going to be a best of 3 between Cure and Classic. Oh boy, and we'll see how Cure can handle himself against Classic here. I mean, again, Classic is coming in as the favorite player amongst all of the players in this group. We're expecting him to make it through, but that's also why I'm excited to see how Cure can fare against a player that's a little bit more comfortable, that's a little bit more in form, that's definitely a little more well-versed in StarCraft Evolution. Let's go. Let us go.